Want to learn what it's like to be a debut picture book author? Then this is the episode for you. Hi, I'm Tanya Duncan Ellis, author of the Sophie Washington series, and They Built Me for Freedom with Write This, my author interview show. And today I'm pleased to welcome Pam Courtney, a debut picture book author, to talk about her newest release and upcoming books. We are trying to get her on. We've been having a little trouble with a little bit of technical difficulty with the internet, so I'm trying to get her on. So let's see if we can get her here. So let's see what's going to go on here. Pam? Okay. We see your yeah, we got you. We did it. And you came right on time because we didn't have as many people in the beginning. They just
Yeah,
came on, so you came right on time.
good. I'm glad to be here.
It's so good to see you, Pam.
Good to see you too.
So you doing okay?
I'm doing really good. I'm so glad to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me to be on Write This. This is my first Instagram Live. So when you're working with old people in technology, you have to put on your whole robe of patience. You know what I'm saying?
I
So, but I'm
know.
glad to be here.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you. Now, can you tell us, Pam, where are you located? Where are you
So,
now?
so I'm back home in Louisiana,
Oh, okay.
and actually exactly where my story, A Season for Fishing, is located, is based. So yeah.
Okay, so your book, tell us a little bit about your book, A Season for Fishing, A Fish Fry Tradition. What is that
Yeah.
about?
So it's loosely based on my like Louisiana upbringing. Louisiana's a big force fishing sports town and state, and so during the beginning of the still water fishing time, people are all about that tradition of gathering their friends and family around and getting their tackle box and rods and heading down to a little river. Actually, it's a lake, but it's called Old Cane River, and it runs through the center of our town. And people gather there to go and catch brim and all kinds of, tasty fish. So yeah, it's loosely based on my life down here in Louisiana.
Yeah, and I read your book and I loved the lyricism in it, the language, and it gave you that feeling of being there in that community, in that place. So it was really nice.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of my things I love. I think it's in our family's DNA. My mother used to say that her siblings would write the most beautiful letters. And so when she first read my story, she was like, this kind of reminds me of when my siblings used to write to us. She had older siblings, and she said how their language was just would pop off the page and was so beautiful. So yeah, I think I might have a little bit of that.
Now, this is your debut picture book. So what got you into writing books for children? How did you get started? What was your journey like?
So really, I got started with a little piece that I wrote. I think it was, I started in 2012. I wasn't writing, but I joined 12 by 12, that is headed up by Julie Hedlund. And I
Mhm.
used to kind of just troll the 12 by 12 and be a part of that, family. It was one of the first families that I joined, kidlit families that I joined. And then I got an opportunity to go to Highlights
Okay.
um, for I think it was a nonfiction science retreat,
Hmm.
and I wrote a little story about a narwhal, and I came away thinking, you know what, I can do this. I think I'd like to be a children's author. So I was working with a group of little ones, and one of the animals in our phonics curriculum was a narwhal. And there were no books. This was like back in 2014, and there weren't any children's books about narwhal back then. I went to the library looking for one, and I told the kids, you know what? I'm going somewhere where I can learn how to write. So maybe I'll come back with a Norwal story for you guys. And actually, that was the very first manuscript that I wrote. It's not published. It
Mhm.
still isn't finished. Those kiddos are now in ninth or 10th grade that I
Oh,
taught.
wow.
So it's been that long with that book. So but yeah, that's was like one of my first manuscripts I think that I wrote.
Okay. So then what happened after that? How did you get an agent, or what was your journey like after
So yeah, also what happened at Highlights, which is now called Boyd's Mill, they sent a call out for they were organizing a mentorship program. It was the Highlights Diversity Fellowship program, and about 300 people signed up for it, and they chose 10. And I was blessed to be one of the 10 people that was able to take advantage of this fellows program. Leah Henderson was one of our coaches, so to speak, and she got up and she's a person with a big heart full of emotions, and she put a challenge out to us to like step outside of our box in this kidlit community. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself to finally submit to a couple of agents. So I got my top five agents, sent a manuscript to them that I had been working on, and I did it on my birthday.
that?
Right. And so I sent it out on my birthday. All five agents responded, and
Wow.
yeah, that was divine intervention. I don't even know how that happened, but one all of them responded, but I chose one in particular, and I'm so glad that I did, James McGowan. And I sent my manuscript in the fall of 2021, and I think by spring I had signed a contract of 2022 with them.
Now let me ask
Nope.
you this, Pam. So in between, you said you started with 12 by 12 in 2012. So had you been working on your craft all these years, or how,
So
what?
Tanya, I started, like I said, I was lurking around the 12 by 12 community.
Mhm.
And by 2014, 2013, I met a woman by the name of Susanna Leonard Hill. And I just put out on Facebook, I'm looking for an inexpensive writing, class that I'd like to take in picture books. And she was upstarting her brand new uh, I think it's called Picture Book Magic class. And she said, you know what? I'd like for you to join. And it was a satellite program. She was like, I want to test it out and see how it's going to work. So there were a few of us that were in there, and I had the opportunity to be mentored by her.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that was 2013 or 2014, and she was the one that encouraged me to like write from my authentic voice, right? She was like, "You're from Louisiana, you've got this, kind of specific voice about you. Why don't you write from your own experiences?" And I
Mhm.
kept trying to fight against that. I want to do something, original, removed from myself. But I took her advice, and that is the story that really caught the attention of my agent that I wrote in her class.
Mhm.
Um, and so that was 2014. And I wrote several other manuscripts, but I never submitted, Tanya. I did not submit. All that time I was just writing and critiquing other people's stories and going to classes, going to workshops. And it was not until no, so I got the fellows in 2019.
Mhm.
So in 2020 of my birthday, and my birthday is in November. So in 2020 of November, I submitted, and in 2021 I got a contract with James McGowan of
That is wonderful. But really, you've
yeah,
been working for years on your craft, even though you hadn't been submitting. You have been
yeah,
working and growing all these years.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that's good.
yeah.
And you had five agents who responded. That's unheard of. So that's a testament to
Well,
your talent and your hard
yeah,
work.
like I
It is.
said, that
Don't try to hide. No,
it was
no.
divine intervention. It was divine intervention. I mean, I think God was on my side, and I had polished and polished and polished my manuscripts. So all of them said that they wanted to see something, to see more, right?
Mhm.
So I don't want to say that all of them were like, yes, we want you, uh, a couple of them were like, once I sent in more manuscripts, they were like, nah, I thought you were something else, but you're really not. So, no, I'm just kidding. Um, the majority of them were like, I see something promising here, which made me feel really, really good. But like I said, I chose one in particular because he was like, I want to work with you. I really do
Mhm.
want to work with you. I see something special, and I like that. I liked our exchange that we had and the
Right.
rapport that we had. So I just felt that he was the one
Mhm. That's good.
to
That's good.
to go with. Yeah,
Now, do you have a copy of A Season for Fish in there that you can
I
show us?
do.
Okay,
I
yeah,
hope
let's
it's.
get to see the book.
I
It's
hope
so
it's.
cute.
Let's see. Can you
It's gonna
guys
show
see
you.
it?
Yes, I love
Is it
that. It's
backward?
such a cute. Mhm. It shows there. It's very cute. So it's
Yeah,
been good. So when did
Tanya.
it come out? When did this book release?
So it came out in May of last year. That
Okay.
was my debut. And I was very, very excited up until the time of my debut, Tanya. And then all of a sudden, I got so nervous about what am I going to do and where am I going to get my book signed? And, I just got really nervous about the marketing aspect of it. And it
Mhm.
really paralyzed me. I was just like unable to move forward with doing anything with this book.
Right.
Fortunately, fortunately, I had some amazing friends here in this kidlit community, and they surprised me with all kind of goodies. One, I got on a Zoom call with Allison Myers, and I thought it was just a natural call that she was going to interview. And I get on that call, and there are all of my friends, not all of my friends, but so many of my friends, and they surprised me with, with this big book release.
Oh,
So I had so many of those moments
right.
to bring me out of whatever that funk was. I guess I was running on adrenaline so hard at the beginning of, submitting that book that when it came out, it just went right. And
Right.
but the community just rallied behind me, and there were a lot of can you come on my blog and or I'm going to videotape you, can we talk about your book? So there was so much of that happened for me. um it was amazing. It touched my heart, and it really did humble me so very much.
Well, you're always a cheerleader for everyone else, and you've built that community. So I guess,
Mhm.
people came out to support you. And your book is a beautiful book. It's well,
Oh, thank
I
you.
love the
Thank you.
story. I love it.
How
It's a
much
great.
do we love this, this this illustration, Tony? She's amazing, right? I mean, look at the beautiful movement and
Hmm.
her tones of color, and that it's just, I think she did a wonderful job throughout throughout this book. I was very fortunate and blessed to have her.
Yeah, it was super cute. And I liked the writing and the language, the way you wrote it was a lot of
Yeah,
fun and
thank you.
captures that flavor of that culture. Now, what is your next project? I know when I met you, you told me about another book you had coming up too.
Yeah, I have a book, and that was the book that I queried with. That was the manuscript I queried with. It's called Freedom's Eve, A Story of Watch Night. And we used to attend Watch Night service every year, right? December 31st, we were at church bringing in the new year, and I had no idea what the original purpose of of Watch Night was about. And I had a cousin that posted something, Ethel Clark, my cousin, posted something on Facebook, and it told the history of Watch Night. And it was the night when enslaved people and freed people of African ancestry waited for the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. There were prayer vigils and celebrations all around the our war-torn Union on 1865 on December 31st, and everybody was waiting and in celebration of what was promised to be this, this emancipation. Of
Wow,
course, we
I
know
didn't
the
know
real,
that. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So does that mean other cultures don't have watch night, or they don't do that,
You
or
know
what?
what? They're actually, I think the term watch night, it's not original to African Americans. I think we use that term for the vigil of staying up and waiting for the promise and then the celebration together. But the Freedom's Eve part does belong to us. The night of Jubilee, the day before, the promised of emancipation was to
That's
come.
neat.
So
I didn't know that.
yeah,
There's so much we don't know, and that's good to know. Here on Black History Month, it should be known, talked about all year, not just
yeah,
during the month. But that is so cool. I didn't
yeah,
even.
yeah. I had no
Wow.
idea. I didn't know what it was about. Going to church every December 31st, bringing in the new year. And that's all I thought it was, but I had no idea the real history behind it. And it is one of those little pieces of American history that's either lost or hidden that we
Mm,
just don't know about. And so what's happening right now in our country, that's why it's just so hurtful. But the wonderful thing about it is that we are, as writers, we are these legacy holders. We write the stories of our own lives. And in those stories, we keep our traditions alive. We keep our history alive. So you can knock down a building, but you can't
mhm.
knock down the voices and us telling our story and passing those stories down to, from generation to generation. And so I'm excited. I'm heartbroken by what's happening, but yet I'm excited about being a story writer and what we do.
Exactly, exactly. I love that. So when is that book
Hmm.
released? Is that this year as well, or the other one was
Yeah, you
last
see
year?
how I go off? Yeah, I go off on a tangent. You see how I just forget about stuff. It comes out October 31st of this year.
Okay, yeah. And that wasn't a tangent, Pam. I'm happy to hear about that. And I so agree with what you're saying because I see a movement this Black History Month to focus on joy, or people say we don't want to hear all these old stories. We've only scratched the surface of all of these stories and traditions that we're unaware of.
Yeah,
So we need to keep
so
telling these
many.
stories and bringing them forward for everyone to understand our
Yeah,
history. Yeah, so this
yeah.
is wonderful. I can't wait to see this book. Yes,
I'm
I'm excited.
excited. So the Norwal story was the first story that I wrote. This was the first story that I believed was going to be sitting on shelves everywhere. There was something about it that pulled me. There are 37 other versions of this
That's
story.
right. I
But
am.
yeah, I'm really proud of this story. It was a long time coming. The original version is nowhere in this book that's coming out in October. But the history of that is still there, and it's told through a little girl who is named after her ancestor that led the family's first watch night service. And so she's taken on the role, and she's afraid that she can't pull off what this ancestor who is thought to be the first. She's afraid that she can't do what she does, and she's the protector of a specific kind of a quilt that they call the storyteller. And this storyteller tells the tale of her ancestors' journey through Freedom's Eve. So yeah, I'm proud of this book.
Ooh, that's why it's called. I didn't really understand why it was called Freedom's Eve until you explained this
Hmm.
to me. So this sounds
Yeah,
very
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
little
we're
character's
ready.
name is Evelyn. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about? Do you have any other things in the works that you're working on that you could share? Or
Yeah, I am working on a biography that I've been working on for a few years. And I'm really excited about this particular biography. because the person that I'm writing about, he broke all kinds of barriers, and he has done something for the African diaspora that no one has ever done. And I cannot wait until this book is comes to life and I'm able to finish it. It's been a hard journey with this one. Um, a lot of research, um, and just getting to know the character and trying to make the story structure interesting, right?
Mhm.
So that kids would want to turn the page and learn about this history. So yeah, I'm
And what I
excited.
sense from you is a sense of joy in what you're doing, because this journey as an author can be a bit frustrating and take so much time. But you seem to
Yeah,
have the joy. Or what kind of advice would you give for aspiring authors who are struggling with this kind of thing, with the time frames and all of that?
yeah. Yeah, thank you for saying that I look like I have a lot of joy, because there are a lot of joyful moments, but there are some moments where I'm like, really, Pam? Is this what you really want to do? But then I get together with other storytellers, and there is such support and love that I wake up in the morning and I go, I can't think of anything else I would want to wake up and do.
Hmm.
So the first thing that I would advise is surround yourself with like-minded people. Get that, be a part of a community and start to lift each other up. And you want to be with people who know a little bit more than you about the crafting of stories, so that you don't want to always be the teacher of the group. You want to sometimes be the student and receive mentorship from the people of your group. And I've been fortunate enough to have critique groups that where I've been able to sit back and go, oh my gosh, that's so insightful. And
Yes.
read a lot, and get together with your community and read. Let's have these discussions about mentor texts and have these master studies about openings and endings, and diving deep into character, and using tone and figurative language effectively in your manuscript. Have those kinds of conversations when you're in your critique groups, not just to look at each other's manuscript, but really dive into what it takes to make a really quality book for our sweet, emergent readers and young
Mhm.
learners.
That's a wonderful advice. Yes, I need to take this to heart myself. When yes. Now, Pam, where can people find you if they want to connect with you? Where can they buy your books? And then where can they find you?
So my books are at where all books are sold. Barnes and Noble. Um, um, I'm gonna say Amazon, but it is there. And of course, there is a cute little bookstore in Atlanta called the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and I
Oh,
love that bookstore. So there, and there's a little store here in Natchitoches called Kathy's Gift Shop. And I just talked to them the other day, and so they're going to be buying my book. And so, you can, maybe choose that little shop to purchase my book. But I'm on Twitter, not anymore. I'm on Instagram, of course, and I'm on Blue Sky, Threads, and all of them. It's Pam is my LMNOP. And so when you type that in, my face will pop up, and you'll see my thoughts and who I support and who supports me.
yes. Well, I'm so happy to hear about all you're doing and to learn about your upcoming book. I'm ready to read that now. So I'm happy to hear about that. And it's
Thank
been
you.
really inspiring. So you're a little over a year after debut. So how do you feel as an author now? How's
I'm a
it
little
feel?
bit more. I'm a little bit more settled, but there are still, times of where I do still need the support of my community, and I'm so glad that you're part of it. I can, inbox you and go, hey, how am I supposed to do this, and what am I supposed to do? So to me, that's really important that I have people that I can reach out to and connect with when I need advice on something or how I should move forward on something. And people will drop what they're going to do and hop on Zoom. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think community is a big part of it because even as Pam said, you get an agent and do all that, it never really ends. You're still going to have questions or different things are going to happen as you move along. It's kind
Right,
of
right.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm grateful to
ongoing.
be in community with you. I'm so happy to be in community with you, Pam.
Yeah, thank you so much. You too. Well, you already know how much I love you, and thank you for allowing me to be on Right This. This was
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking this time, Pam. Thank you guys for joining us. And I hope that you got some good information from Pam. I know I certainly did. And please support her, get her books at the places she mentioned, write her reviews. That helps her so much. If you enjoy that book, write the reviews for her, post those, and she would be so grateful. But
Yes, indeed.
yes, yes. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy your day, and we'll see you back next week for another episode of Write This. All right, bye bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.